Today I wanted to show you this latest journal that I've just finished. This is a Christmas journal, and this is the last journal that I will be selling this year. This is a completely different style Christmas journal, as you can see, to anything that I've made before, and also to the previous most recent Christmas collections. So this book has been taking me a really long time to make. I've actually been filming some of the process of making the cover of this journal, and that is going to be released in a teachable class later on. Probably next year it's going to be one of two books within that class. So this is just one of them. The other one I'm not finished yet, so you'll get to see that a bit later. This book is obviously Christmas themed, and I wanted to do a Christmas toy shop journal. And so this journal is a gatefold style journal, which means it opens up here in the middle and it has two different bindings. And for this particular journal, I've made one side a lot wider than the other. So this side is only as wide as the door, and this side is quite wide. So what I've done is I've created a junk journal, or like a regular journal, in this side of the book, and then on the right side of the book I've created this little pocket page style of book. So I've done some gatefolds in the past where I also did the same thing. I did some pockets on one side and a journal on the other side, and I really like that concept because you can actually collect things in the pockets and then you can use them in the journal, and it just breaks the book up into sort of two different styles that you can play with. It also obviously worked really well for the design of this book because I wanted to have a little door on one side and a window on the other. So that is what the two different sides are. Now this journal measures about almost 12 inches long by just over 8 inches tall, and then the spine is about, or the spines are about 2.5 inches wide. So it's a pretty big book. It's also quite heavy, and this was a bit of a challenge to make because it was something new, and I really like a challenge. I really like a creative challenge, just trying something new and making something different and working out ways to create something for the first time is always really fun. So the back is plain green, and then the spines have some bows painted on each side. So in this video, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about how I actually put this together. As I said, I did film the process. So if you want to learn how to make this book, that will be released later on once I get it all finished. I filmed creating everything so that you can also do the same. But in this video, I'm just going to do like a bit of a show and tell. If you are interested in purchasing this journal, I'm most likely going to have this book as an eBay auction just because there's only the one. And so if I do put it up on eBay, I'll have the link to that auction in the description box whenever it goes live. I'll also add all the details for the sale in the description box just in case I do change my mind. I would be open to a private sale. That would save me like the stress of an eBay auction. Like if someone wanted to privately purchase this journal, I would be open to that as well. But I will leave in the description box the details for the sale if I do go ahead with popping into my eBay. I also most likely will not make another book like this. This is truly one of a kind. It took a really long time to make, and so chances of me making it again are pretty small. But with all of that said, let's talk about some of the features of this book. So I have used some acetate in here to create a window, and I'll bring you up close so you can see. If you're wondering what those sounds are in the background, those are the cicadas. It is summer here in Australia, so it's hot, and our cicadas, where I live anyway, are really loud, so there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm just going to carry on, and hopefully it's not too distracting. But for the window, I wanted to create a window that had some depth to it. I wanted it to look pretty real. I ended up finding these really perfect Christmas images, and they worked really well in the window. And then I also cut out all of these individual little toy images to create like a little shop display in the window where I was just layering out the different toys as if they're sat right in front of the window so you can see it when you're walking past. I also painted a little garland, which you can't really see much of because of the way that I've layered it up here, but I painted it, cut it out, and then I stuck these cute little red bows. These red bow stickers are from Tapology. I used those to decorate the garland in the window, and I think the window turned out really cute. I also used under here some glossy accents on some areas of the toys just to try and add more depth and dimension within this actual window. Some of these are little window pieces from a Tim Holtz pack, and then I've also cut out some of my own pieces with chipboard just to again add that dimension to the book. For this shop, I wanted to make it like a Christmas toy shop, so I had to come up with a name, and I decided to call it Silver Bell Toys. These letters are raised, if you can see that. They are actually little wood letters which I've glued on and then painted, so the entire book's been painted. Down the bottom I also just layered up different bits of chipboard and card to create this kind of panelled look to the shop, and then I hand painted this little bow across the front. I also did the same fake panelling look on both spines, so I just added these little bits of card to create a bit of a panelled look. And then for the spines, I put my classic charm dangles on one side, which I'll show you in more detail in a second, and then on the other side I just did these velvet ribbons, which you can actually use as bookmarks within your actual journal side just by tucking them inside the book, so you can actually bookmark wherever you're up to, or you can just leave it as a little dangle. So I'll just give you a quick look at the dangles here. We've got a big silver bell toys. We've got lots of lovely little beads and buttons and some cute little charms like this vintage snowman ornament, a little hen, a little piece of another ornament which is like a little sleigh or like a little sled, and then we've got this little guy and this gold key, some little fake Christmas lights, and then also, where is this? Down the bottom of one of these little cords, there's also a really tiny little gold key, which actually goes with the hardware for the front door. So coming back around to the front of the book, the little key piece here that goes with the front door. So I wanted to create the front door a little bit functioning, and I wanted it to open a peek so that you can actually just kind of peek inside the store. So that's what I've done. So I created this frame for the door, like a door frame here, and I built this little door piece. So just by cutting out chipboard and painting it, and then I also painted some more little bows along the top of the door frame here. So for the front of the book, this was a little detail I added later. This is a little Christmas wreath that hangs on the door of the shop. I wanted this wreath to be removable so that you can actually still lay the cover out flat and it's not going to get in the way. So the wreath is magnetized, so you can just pull it straight off the door there, and if you want to put it back, it just magnetizes back there over the window. And this little wreath also kind of acts as kind of like a little bit of a closure to this door because it helps the door stay closed. So the door itself can actually open just a peek, and you can see inside the little shop there. So the door doesn't open the whole way, it just opens enough that you can peek inside the store, which I think is really cool. So this part here is again acetate so that you can also peek inside the store, and I created this little open sign here as well. And on all of the windows I added little bits of fake snow as well, which I thought was really cute. So that is what it looks like from the outside. Again, when you're using this, you can just remove the wreath so that it's out of the way. You can also just push the charms up out of the way as well so that they're not in the way of the actual function of the book. So because this book opens the way that it does, it's a gatefold journal, so it's got sort of two openings to it. I wanted you to be able to display this nicely on your shelf, and so to do that I also added some magnets inside here where the two covers meet so that they will click together. So even if this journal does become a bit more bulky with time, and say it's starting to sit a bit like this because it's got so much in it, those covers will still click and sit together somewhat. So it would still sit sort of like a shop front, just would have a little bit of an angle to it, but it's going to stay closed in that way so that when you're displaying it on the shelf, those panels click together. So opening the journal up, as I said, there are magnets, so you can hear it click together. This also supports the cover so that one side isn't sitting lower than the other. It clicks it together so that when it is sitting upright on the shelf, those covers are supporting the weight of each other where they're split. So I'm just going to zoom you out as much as I can so that you can see the whole book at once. So when we open this up, it's quite long. We've got our 2 different types of journals basically. So inside the cover here, you can also see this little magnet here. This is what holds the wreath onto. So this little magnet on the back of the wreath and this little magnet on the inside here are working together to hold the wreath onto the book. And to decorate this magnet, I just stuck this little vintage number 25 so that it's not a big black magnet right there in the middle of the beautiful paper. So this lining paper goes all the way through on the back cover as well. And this paper is a Claire Therese Gray designed paper from Craft Consortium. On the inside cover, I've also stuck one of these library card pockets and a little library card, which you can write whatever you want inside there. So as mentioned, this side of the book is a journal and this side is like a pocket book. So this side has lots and lots of lovely pockets, which I'll show you first. So the pocket side of the book has 5 signatures, and so it's got less signatures than the journal side because when you're adding lots of pockets and stuff, it does become bulky quite quickly. So I'm just going to flip through and show you all of the pockets that I've included in here. So first of all, we have a little pocket down the bottom, and then I've also tucked some bits and pieces inside most of the pockets in here as well. So pocket down the bottom there, and then there's also a little side pocket here behind the image of Santa, some music paper tucked inside. And then there's also a larger pocket behind that with some ledger paper tucked inside and also this big sort of flash card. On the back side of that, we have another little slim pocket here, and then I've just tucked a little image inside. This is a piece of a special vintage Christmas card. Here is another large pocket, and in here I've tucked this big Christmas tag. It goes in there. And then I've used some vintage Christmas children's book paper, and then there's another large pocket on the other side. So in here I've tucked one of my little digitals from my shop. So you can actually journal and add photos and whatever you want on top of some of these pages. You can still treat it like a junk journal, it's just got lots of extra pockets in it, so it's up to you. Up here we've got this vintage envelope, and I've just tucked this little image inside, and then behind here you can also tuck extra things inside there. Then this piece flips out. We've got a big pocket in here, which I've got nothing inside, and then another little pocket in here. And then this is that same vintage Christmas card. Over here we've got some note paper stitched to the top so you can flip it up, and then underneath a little pocket and a cute little nutcracker card tucked inside there. Then continuing through, we've got a little bit of Christmas paper and a little note in this pocket. This flips out, and we've got another little piece tucked inside there, and then a double pocket here with some bits and pieces tucked inside. On the back of it, there's another little pocket here and another tag. So this is a little piece of a Christmas card, which is really pretty. And then this big double pocket here where again I've included some of my Christmas digitals and a little index card. Over here, another large pocket with some bits and pieces tucked inside. And then we've got a couple of pockets here. So there's a pocket here, a pocket back there, another little pocket here, and then a pocket here. So you can tuck lots of little bits and pieces inside there. And then on the side next to it, another little top loading pocket. And I've just included these little Christmas tag labels. We have a similar style pocket here with another little piece tucked up behind. On this page I used a vintage envelope, so you can tuck something up underneath here, but you can also tuck something inside the envelope here. So this is actually a bit of a double pocket. So you've got the envelope itself with the pocket and then behind the envelope. So there's lots of little secret places to discover. Same thing on the other side, which I've got some little papers tucked inside of. And then down the bottom, you can also tuck something inside either side here, like that. This is a little pocket up the top here. I don't have anything inside that one. And then another pocket here with some cute little envelope seal stickers. Over here, this is a little pocket as well, and I've tucked some more envelope seals inside there. Here we have another pocket, and then another couple of pockets here as well. For this envelope pocket, you can tuck, again, you can tuck stuff inside the actual envelope, and then you can also tuck stuff behind the envelope, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. And then behind the vellum, another pocket in there, and another pocket up the top there. Another little top loading pocket here. For some of these really gorgeous scrapbook papers, I didn't want to cover them up too much, so I just dressed them with small little pockets so you can tuck stuff inside of. And then here we have a clear pocket with a little bit of a vintage Christmas card. Then behind the craft paper, another large pocket in here. And then we have several pockets, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's just some little bits tucked inside there as well. Behind that on this side, also some Santa paper. This again is one from my own shop, so that tucks inside there. And then for the last page, this page folds out like so. I've got some bits and pieces tucked inside here, and also over here I've got another little pocket down the bottom, and then this little tuck pocket off to the side. And then on the back, this is a large pocket which I've got nothing inside of, and then another pocket on the very back, this little short pocket here. So several pockets, and I'm sorry for saying pockets so many times, but several little tuck spots and little secret places that you can put things inside of on the short side. So that's the first side of the book, and now I'm going to take you over to the journal side of the book. So for this journal, as usual, I like to add enough plainness so that it's actually a usable journal that you can journal inside of and put lots of stuff inside of. So there's some plainness, but there's also some patterns, and there's enough here to inspire you, and lots of lovely interest and pretty things to look at. So for the first page, I wanted you to open up the journal, open up the shop, and come inside the shop. And so you can see this little shop scene here, and this is a really large full-sized pocket in there. Now I'm going to flip through, I'm going to show you pretty much all the pages because I've just got the one book, but I'm going to flip through pretty quickly because there's a lot of the same sort of stuff. So on the second page, this is a pocket, so you can actually put like a family photo or something in here, and you can treat it like a bit of a picture frame, or you can just tuck whatever you want inside. I have also used some little bits of trim and ribbons to create some ruffles and some little page edges that feel really nice and tactile. This is a large pocket inside, and then we've got some music paper and then some like little bits and pieces tucked inside the pockets as well. So there's pattern paper, there's music paper, ledger paper, so scrapbook paper, and some cream plain paper as well. So there's some varying pockets, top loading, side loading, and bottom loading pockets, and some lovely Christmas book pages. This is another little piece from my Etsy shop, a little download. So I'm gonna just flick through so you can see. I'm not gonna spend a long time on each page. So you'll see what I mean. It's quite plain. You can build up each page, but there's also a really nice base. So really nice base pages that are interesting enough that they will inspire you, and that you can kind of be invited to use each page a little bit differently to the last because they're all a little bit different to each other. Some little Christmas cards as well, and varying sized pages, which always makes for a really interesting journal. And then I've also included some of my Christmas cards as well. So there's just some really fun bits and pieces to play with. And also this book is quite large, so these pages are almost 8 by 8. I made them a little bit shorter than 8 inches wide because I wanted to make sure that these two different book sections weren't going to be clashing and touching each other inside the book. but it's 8 inches tall by almost 8 inches wide, which gives you a really huge canvas to play with. And this side of the journal actually has 8 signatures, and I've done a little bit more than my usual 5 pages per signature as well. So it's got quite a lot of pages to fill up. You could honestly use this book as like your master Christmas book that you could fill out every single year at Christmas time. And you could just keep adding to it year after year because there's just that many pages. Like, I feel like you would have a really hard time filling this up in one Christmas season just because there's so many pages and so much space. But I mean, it's completely up to you how you would want to use this book. There's also some craft paper, plenty of lovely book pages, plenty of lovely cream paper with lots of blank space, and some wrapping paper that I've been saving and using over the years as well. So there's lots of lovely different paper textures, which gives you a really nice variety of pages to play with. So just a nice inviting space. And I've also added lots of stuff inside most of the pockets in here, so if you wanted to, you could go through the entire book and you could pull out everything that I've added, and that would give you a lot of additional growing room in here as well, because obviously adding all of those bits and pieces inside add a fair bit of bulk to the journal and to the pages. So that is the journal side of the book. So that is the journal. I am super happy with how it turned out. It turned out better than I expected it to. It was a really fun creative challenge for me, trying something new. As I said, I have filmed the process of making this cover, so I will be able to share that later on if you're wanting to make your own. I will leave all the details for how to purchase this journal in the description box if you're interested. I am going to put it up for sale because I would not be able to fill this journal up myself. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'm going to leave you with some close-up footage of the journal so you can see some of those details a little bit better. And yeah, I want to thank you so much for staying until the end of this video, and I hope to see you again really soon in my next one. Bye!